Hi there. In this video, we're going to take a look at CELPIP Speaking Task 5. I'm going to provide you with 3 sample answers, and I'm going to show you some of the things in those answers that ensure a high score. And so this is the question where you're asked to compare 2 sets of things and persuade somebody that your choice is the better choice. So this is our first prompt. Your roommate's stuff is overflowing into your shared space because she doesn't have enough storage space in her room. She's thinking about buying a new bed. Persuade your friend that your choice is best. So for this question, we have 2 beds. We've got my friend's choice and my choice. And my 60-second response starts now. Hi Jane, do you have a moment to talk about this new bed you're thinking of buying? I really like the bed you've chosen because it's got that classic elegance that we've managed to create in our apartment. However, there are a couple of reasons why I'd like you to consider this alternative before making your final decision. First, you're forever complaining about never having anywhere to put anything. And a bed like this one that has 3 drawers would go a long way to solving that. In a sense, you'd be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Second, I know that at $400 it's quite a bit more expensive than your choice, but unlike your choice, the mattress is included, so you wouldn't have to fork out any additional money. Anyway, I know it's really none of my business, but it may be worth taking advantage of this purchase to solve your storage issues. If we take a look at the transcript of this response, you'll see that my structure is very, very clean. I have an introduction where I ask my friend if she has time to talk about this bed. I've got my first idea of why she needs to think about a different type of bed. I have my second idea that's based on the cost, and then I have a conclusion. You'll also notice that throughout my response, I've got some complex sentences. I have some that are built on subordinating conjunctions. And then I've got conjunctive adverbs that give me my structure, first, second, and anyway, or finally. And then I have some complex sentences that are built around relative clauses, and some that are built about gerunds. But those complex sentences permeate my whole response. You'll also notice there are several places where I've got phrases and phrasal verbs. And for my tenses, I've used the present continuous to talk about the things that we're actually thinking about doing right now. I have the present simple that shows the things that are routine fact. The bed just is the way it is. I've got the present perfect because the final decision hasn't been made yet, and so I need to identify the actions that are complete in this incomplete time. And of course, I've used the second conditional because I'm having some input into somebody else's final decision, but I'm not making the final decision. All right, so let's take a look at the second sample answer. The prompt is that my supervisor has asked me and a colleague to organize a team building event for the department. And I have to persuade my colleague that my choice is best. So my colleague's choice is a gaming competition, and my choice is a kayaking competition. My 60 seconds for my sample answer starts now. Hi Joe, do you have a moment to talk about this team building event that we're supposed to be organizing? I've taken a look at your proposal for a gaming event, and I can definitely see why you've chosen it, but I'd like you to consider this kayaking alternative for a couple of reasons. First of all, we already spend an awful lot of time staring at computer screens, so I think the staff would enjoy a change of activity, and getting out into the fresh air would certainly provide that. Secondly, although the gaming event would only be half the price of kayaking, the kayaking package offers amazing value for money. I've paid $100 just to rent a kayak, and with this package, instruction is included. Anyway, my feeling is that kayaking would be a hit with our colleagues. So let's give this event a little more thought before making a final decision. So if we take a look at the transcript of my response, you can see that again, I've got a very clear introduction, first main idea, second main idea, and a conclusion. Throughout my response, I've used complex sentences. Some of them are based on subordinating conjunctions. Of course, I've got my conjunctive adverbs, firstly, secondly, anyway, or in conclusion. And I've got some complex sentences built around relative clauses, and some that are built around gerunds. And those complex sentences permeate the whole response. I've also got several phrases from phrasal verbs. And for my tenses, I've used the present simple and the present perfect to identify those completed actions in this incomplete time. And I've also used that second conditional because I'm not alone in making that final decision. There are two of us who are making this decision. Before we go on to the final example, I just want to take a moment to remind you that working with a tutor turns your passive learning into active learning. It targets the things that matter, and it saves you time trawling through YouTube. So if you're looking for a tutor, or if you'd like to work with me in preparation for your CELPIP test, do give me a call at 613-614-6460, and you can also email me, angela@ottawa-english.com. All right, let's take our third example, where my partner and I are looking for a wedding gift for our friends. Again, my speaking time is 1 minute, and these are the two sets of cups that we're discussing with regard to this wedding gift. So my 1 minute response starts now. Hi Jenny, do you have a moment to talk about these mugs that we're thinking about giving to Mary and Sam for their wedding? I really like the cups that you've chosen, but I'm wondering whether they're nice enough for a wedding gift. I'd like you to take a look at these other cups for two reasons. First, your choice is what I'd expect to pick up at the dollar store and take out of the cupboard every morning. They can get those themselves. I'd like to give them something that they might not ordinarily buy for themselves. Second, even though these cups are quite a bit more expensive, they're an excellent deal because I've seen individual cups like these for the same price as this package of 6. Anyway, my feeling is that Mary and Sam would really like these cups. So let's give this gift a little more thought before making a final decision. So if we take a look at a transcript of my response, you can see that again, I have a very clear structure with an introduction and two main ideas before my conclusion. I've also got my complex sentences. Some of them are built around subordinating conjunctions. Obviously, my conjunctive adverbs are there, first, second, anyway, or in conclusion, because that's what gives my response structure. And it makes it very easy for the examiner to follow my content, even if I make a few mistakes delivering it. I also have some complex sentences that are built around relative clauses and some that are built around gerunds. And again, those complex sentences permeate my whole response. You probably also noticed there were quite a few phrases and phrasal verbs. And for my tenses, I've got my present continuous for the things that are happening right now. I've got my present simple for the things that are always the same, the routine, the fact. I've got the present perfect to recognize the completed actions in this incomplete time because the final decision hasn't been made yet. And of course, I've got my second conditional to recognize that I'm not responsible for the final decision. It's a joint decision. So in terms of tips, I would say, first of all, structure your response with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Use words like first and second to organize your ideas, because even if you make some mistakes with your words or your grammar or your vocabulary, the examiner will find it much easier to follow if you have that organization. Use a range of complex sentences. Use your tenses appropriately. Use a variety of phrases and phrasal verbs. And use that second conditional to recognize your limited control over that final decision. And make sure that you stop before your minute runs out, because you get points for completing your answer. So that's it from me, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.